you, so I want to introduce the panel to you. You see up on the screen from a Skype perspective, we have Mr. Daryl Lockhart here from the Black Box office. And so hopefully you see Daryl here. It's Mr. Kevin Ross, Entertainment Studios and America's Court show. We have Kashif, music producer. We have Filiberto Gonzalez from Social Impact Change. Monique Woodard, who is the founder of Black Founders here in Southern California. And then we also have Kwasi from Fighter Interactive. And Kwasi is behind all of the Bad Boy and P. Diddy, Ciroc, those type of platforms who use social media quite a bit. So we have a very esteemed panel. And really, I really want to get to them and start with a few questions. So one of the points that I'll bring up to Chief to speak to this is from the latest Whitney Houston story. So if you look at hashtag Whitney Houston and that whole scenario, Twitter broke the story before mainstream news. And so potentially that's the impact of Twitter, but I also would argue that it's potentially an impact of the people consuming the Twitter media, and I'll open that up to folks here.
I mean, given the numbers, sheer numbers that are reflected by being 12%, that story is probably the fastest breaking story in the history of news, I would think. You know, a few minutes after she died. The connection is that between, I'm assuming that the reason he asked me to answer this question is that I'm a songwriter, producer, and I wrote Whitney's first 2 hits, You Give Good Love and Think About You, and several other songs. And so, you know, as I watch the news break, it occurred to me that sometimes it feels like the news is getting to you even before it hasn't. And so it sort of colors your perspective, and people start developing their feelings about whatever the news is that's breaking, sort of in unity. You know, it's like a uniform development, whereas, you know, back in the day, news traveled and the story got a chance to change hands many times and develop into all sorts of ridiculous incarnations of that same story. But with the Whitney Houston story, it came out so quick, and I think it stunned the whole world at the same time. Now, I must humbly admit that I am the person in the room who knows the least about social media. But what I do know about is how to make people react to whatever it is you are selling or whatever it is you are distributing. So, you know, as a songwriter and producer, I'm always writing my promotion and my marketing into the actual song. For instance, this last Whitney Houston album, I wrote a song called I'm in Love with Sex and Music. And while the title doesn't reflect the importance of the marketing, inside the song I said I'm out with my girls and I'm doing the thing that I was born to do. And so that marketing is in because I'm speaking directly to all of the people who were in support of Whitney's comeback. And it's written right into the song, and then I talked to the DJ, hey DJ, put on my favorite song. And of course, you know, this was a club song, and so it affects the DJ. So the marketing, Kevin asked me to speak about the importance of understanding who your demographic is and what you're saying to your demographic. We can have social media all over the place, but if the product that you're trying to sell is aimed at the wrong demographic, then it makes no sense. So it's still fundamental marketing principles, but I think from what I see, a little bit that I know, a lot of times I see that there's sort of this blanket mentality. Oh, I'll just get on Twitter and I'll be famous, or I'll get, and then, you know, and that's just not so. You have to reach the audience that is best matched with the product that you're selling, whatever the product is that you're selling. So, again, I'm the one who knows the least about this, but I do know about you know, how to make a product and how to make millions of people want to buy the product that you make. In my case, it's music.
I'd love to hear Kwasi's perspective on that.
How you guys doing? I was actually down at the Grammys this weekend and came back just a couple hours ago for this panel. It's kind of a strange experience because when I got on the plane in New York, everything was cool and I was going to Clive Davis's party and everything was very sunny. And landed, and started getting tweets, and it was just crazy. Obviously, the whole mood for the entire weekend was dramatically changed, and I think certainly information about the weekend was widely available on Twitter, and that seemed to be one of the mediums that people were really exchanging condolences and such throughout the weekend. And I mean, it shows that's kind of where the conversation has been. I mean, Lefsetz wrote this morning, I don't know if you guys read Bob Lefsetz, but he's kind of a leading blogger about music and technology. And the ratings for the Grammys are so strong, I think, in particular because of the conversation that was happening simultaneously on Twitter and Facebook that was giving real-time updates about Nicki Minaj and, Adele, for the better, and things of that nature. So, yeah, I mean, I think Twitter has definitely become where the conversation has been. And I think you see a lot of media actually tagging their hashtag now to really drive that simultaneous conversation. The show is on TV. They want people tweeting about that in real time so that people then, oh my God, it's trending, I should turn on my TV, and there it is.